Here's the big news from the Daily Mail. Republicans say they were victims of a biological attack after vials of blood were sent to RNC headquarters. The RNC said its headquarters in D.C. was targeted in a biological attack on Wednesday because of the blood. After a suspicious package was found in the building, they temporarily locked it down and a hazmat team was dispatched to the scene. He said today, vials of blood were sent to RNC headquarters in D.C. We are thankful to law enforcement who responded quickly and ensured everyone's safety. That's what. How did they know it was blood? The lockdown has been cleared and staff has resumed their office duties because we remain unintimidated and undeterred in our efforts to elect President Trump to the White House. He added this revolting attack comes on the heels of pro-Hamas protesters violently demonstrating on college campuses and deranged Biden supporters physically attacking our campaign volunteers for supporting President Trump. While Republicans fight to strengthen our economy, secure our southern border, and halt the violent crime in our communities, the fringe left is wreaking havoc, sowing fear, and lying to the public in a bad faith effort to divide Americans and sway an election. He says no matter what violent tactics Biden's extreme left supporters try next, the RNC would stand firm in our mission to deliver greater freedom and opportunity for all Americans, and we won't back down. Certainly lathering it on a bit thick there over getting a couple vials of blood, which is nasty and alarming, sure, but kind of making it seem like there was an assassination attempt on the president or something over this blood is, that story.
How mad do you think the DNC was when they found out their adrenochrome went to the wrong headquarters?
Yeah, I was going to say, some reporter is really in trouble right now. Or do you think they're just trying to lure some vampires to the RNC? They're like, here, guys, just go that way, hang out with the Republicans. I mean, it does seem a little hysterical. On the other hand, it could have been anything, and you don't really want random vials of blood showing up on your doorstep.
That's weird. Why would someone do that? Like, what is the thought process of sending blood to the RNC headquarters, right?
It could just be any lunatic.
I mean, my initial thought was how during Blinken's testimony yesterday, people were sitting there with red paint on their hands for the blood on your hands thing. I wondered if it was a reference to something like that. But I haven't Googled to see if the RNC headquarters next to a Quest diagnostic. What if it really was just something delivered to the wrong place?
If they run a DNA test on it and find out who it is.
It'll be interesting to see if we find out who sent them these vials. We never found out who left the pipe bombs January 5th outside the DNC or RNC ever. So doesn't look like they care much about these two buildings, the security about either of these buildings. So
how much would you say that this is them just kind of hamming it up? Or like the RNC, it's like, it was a biological attack.
If it was going to be an attack, you would think it would be like anthrax or something that was actually deadly. I mean, who knows if these blood vials are even anything lethal? I mean, they were in vials. It's gross, but what's lethal about that? It's not like 2 dangerous.
Vials of blood, and I don't know. People send all sorts of weird stuff to freak people out. Maybe I guess the issue is we would need to know what accompanied the blood vials. Mm-hmm. Was there a letter saying here is the blood that has stained your hands or something like this? Or maybe it said something gross like diseased blood. I don't know.
Or it's to lab for testing for cholesterol. What if this really is just something that's sent the wrong way, right?
Works in Jane Austen.
Some FedEx driver who's having the worst day. He's being interrogated by the police and he's like, I'm just really bad at my job.
It was a 23andMe and they put the wrong street.
But you spit in those.
I know, I'm kidding.
Somebody got it wrong.
You don't take 2 full vials of your blood to get your DNA
They wanted
test.
spit, I gave them blood.
Some staffer accidentally got this mailed to the wrong location and were like, oh yeah, don't send it to my apartment, send it to my job instead. And they were like, oh wait.
And now they're having to sit there and help write this press release yes, biological attack.
Well, I mean, with things like this and with the rhetoric certainly escalating, what are we supposed to expect? What do you think, Chase, coming up in November? Obviously, the narrative is no one's going to believe the results of the election. And so with things like this, are we really looking at serious escalation of conflict? What happens after the election? Are Trump supporters going to be like, oh, Biden won, that's cool? Are Biden supporters going to be like, Trump won, all right?
What first comes to mind is the summer of love and what happened after George Floyd. I definitely foresee at minimum conflicts like that if Trump wins. I see people going to the streets, burning buildings down, Democratic district attorneys or attorney generals maybe not prosecuting these people. I definitely see violence and protests in the streets. on that standpoint. Now, if Biden wins or whoever the Democratic candidate is, I'm still not 100% convinced that it's even going to be Biden. Weird things like him not being on the ballot in certain states and this DNC thing coming up and it's going to be remote now imply to me that there's something weird going on with that. But if Biden wins, I don't know if there's going to be violence or not. I find it hard to believe that there won't be some major upheaval reminiscent of J6,